Fear is one of the most primal emotions we experience as humans. Biologically, fear exists to protect you. So it's your survival mechanism, right? It's very, very good to have that. It's the voice in you that says, danger, stay safe, don't take that risk, watch out. There's a threat around the corner, that person there is dangerous. And in life or death situations, fear is obviously super, super useful. But the problem is, your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a perceived one. The same nervous system of yours that is wired to protect you from lions and from car crashes and cliffs also fires off when you want to launch your business, when you express your truth, when someone tells you that they need to talk to you, when you set a boundary, when you hold a class presentation, when you go against the masses, when you do speak up for yourself, when you go after your dream. Fear will try to convince you that discomfort is danger. But discomfort is not danger, it's just the unknown before growth, right? When you expand your comfort zone, that part that you're expanding, you don't know that part yet. And when it's unknown, it means that you're uncertain. There's uncertainty. And uncertainty just equals something that is not familiar. It's just not familiar yet, right? So it's just a known before the growth until you made it a habit, until you become familiar with it. So the truth about fear in this case is that fear will always show up at the edge of your expansion, right? When you expand your comfort zone. Fear doesn't mean stop. It just means watch out, pay attention. It means you need a little more energy and courage to move forward, right? You need to take a leap. Fear doesn't mean that you're not ready. It's not your sign to stop, to say that that is not for you. It just means that you're stepping into something bigger, right? Hence, needing more energy to face that, more courage. So, this distinction that you need to understand when it comes to fear is whether you're moving through fear versus whether you're moving because of fear. They are very, very fundamentally different. When you move through fear, you acknowledge it's there, but you don't let it dictate your choices. So you're basically saying, I feel afraid, but I'll walk with this fear. I'm scared, but I'll do it anyway, right? Bring it on. That's how you master it. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. That's how you become better, right? When you move because of fear, you let it drive the wheel. You let it take over. You make choices to avoid discomfort, to stay safe, to run back to what's familiar, to run back to what you know. You're moving in the opposite direction of where you should be going. And that path always keeps you small. It keeps you in the illusion of safety, but robs you of your expansion, robs you of your growth. You're not growing. That's the easy way out. And easy doesn't mean aligned. Easy doesn't make you grow. Easy means you're remaining comfortable. You're remaining in that comfort zone. The science of fear is also very, very interesting because when you feel fear, when fear is in your body, it activates your amygdala. So the part of your brain which is wired for fight, flight, or freeze, your survival mechanisms, right? Your fight or flight mode. When this happens, your logical brain, so your prefrontal cortex, it literally shuts down. It shuts off. That's why you cannot think clearly in moments of intense fear, because your body believes survival comes first, right? So you shut everything else off. The only focus is survival in that moment. It's like a horse with these claps, right? With these flaps, whatever you call that, when you only have tunnel vision. But the powerful thing when it comes to fear that you need to understand is the more often that you expose yourself to the thing you fear, of course, in safe and intentional ways, the more your brain learns that it's not dangerous. This is called neuroplasticity. So you can rewire your brain to see what once terrified you as neutral now, or even as exciting, right? So you change the way you're wired. You change the way your pathways are working in your brain. That's why courage isn't the absence of fear. It is the opposite of it, but it doesn't mean that it's absent. It's just different degrees of the same thing. Courage up here, fear up here. You're not fearful if you're up here, you're just less fearful. It's this decision that you take to act in spite of it. And the more often that you do, the easier it becomes. So how do you alchemize it? First, like most of the emotions, the moment you feel fear arising, you have to pause and name it. I'm afraid of failing. I'm scared of this. I'm afraid of being judged. I'm scared of losing. I'm scared of losing you, right? If it's a person. Fear thrives in the shadows. So naming it again drags it into the light where it loses the control over you, where it loses its grip over you, because you make it real. You make it surface. You take it from the subconscious into the conscious. Then you need to ask yourself, is this discomfort or is this actual danger? Do I need to actually be in survival mode or do I just need to grow? Most of the time, fear is not signaling actual danger, right? It's just discomfort. It's just uncertainty. It's just uncomfortable. And discomfort is the gateway to your growth. Like I explained before, you're expanding your comfort zone, you're expanding yourself. So you need to train yourself to recognize the difference. And that is where nervous system regulation comes in, because once you realize that it's just discomfort, you can just regulate yourself and good is, right? It's not actual danger. You don't need to be in fight or flight mode. Your body doesn't need to tense up. You just need to regulate yourself and then take action. Which brings me to my next point, which is you need to ground your body. So when fear takes over, your body thinks that you're in physical danger, right? Like I just said, nervous system regulation. So you need to calm that nervous system first. You need to breathe slowly. You need to shake it out. You need to place a hand on your chest and your belly if you need to feel yourself. And once your body feels safe, your mind can see clearly again because you took yourself out of that fight or flight mode. And then, like I said, it's time to take action. So number 4 is take micro actions. The fastest way to disarm fear is action, because fear just fuels itself and feeds on stagnation, on you being stuck. So send the message, launch the business, make the call, post the content, speak up for yourself, right? Do something that you haven't done before. Dare to do something that you're scared of doing. Every time you act, you prove to your brain that fear isn't in control, you are. Walk into the room you're scared to be in. Talk to the people you're scared to talk to. And then comes the reframing. So instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, see it as a green light. If you feel fear, cool. It means that you're on the edge of expansion. It means that you need to do exactly that. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. Let fear be confirmation that you're exactly where you need to be, that you're exactly where you need to be going. So what I want you to remember from this video is that fear in your life overall, it's inevitable. It's what we're wired to watch out for that. And life happens, right? But being ruled by fear is a choice. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You don't have to be. Fear, my cat in the background. Fear will always be in the room when you're doing something meaningful, right? When you're doing something that expands you, that demands more of you. But it doesn't get to hold the microphone if you don't let it. It doesn't get to drive if you don't let it. At most, it can sit in the back seat while you keep your hands on the wheel, right? Moving with it, moving through it. If you let fear dictate your life, you will always choose the easy way out. You will always choose the safe path, always choose the familiar path, the familiar road, the one that keeps you small, the one that keeps you comfortable. But if you learn to walk through fear, to move with it, to carry it alongside you, you unlock power that most people would never even dare to touch. because they're too scared, because they're giving in. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is proof that you're living. Fear is proof that you're expanding, that you're growing. Fear is proof that you're standing at the doorway of something bigger, of your next level up. So when fear does show up, don't run. Don't turn the opposite way. Don't overthink it. Don't collapse. Don't hand it the steering wheel. Instead, breathe, regulate yourself, spray your shoulders, and say, I'm afraid, I'm scared, but I'm not letting it take control. You're not in charge, I'm moving. And that's how you turn fear into your fuel. That's how you master your reality. That's how you grow. That's how you expand. That's how you build a life that most people are too afraid to even imagine.